Something that's gonna make your sales calls 10 times easier to close on is by incorporating a pre-call screening process. If you have not yet signed up for the masterclass that I'm talking about on obstacle handling, you should do that now. But maybe you missed that. I'm gonna still break down some things for you here for you to understand how to help deal with obstacles before you even get to a sales call to make it easier. A lot of times what people do is they raw dog a sales call. So they just get on a call with someone, they might have like a simple application, but they don't do any triaging or reaching out to the lead before they get to the call to navigate some obstacles. Save yourself the time. It might feel like you're taking more time to do this before the call, but it's worth it. Instead of having to do like, I don't know, an hour or an hour and a half sales call to obstacle handle and objection handle, and then have to do a follow-up call later on for them to message you in between to cancel. It ends up being a waste of time. So instead, what I want you to do, and the little tip I'm gonna share with you is my little funnel. You might already have some of these steps, but I'm gonna just share it with you pretty plainly. We'll go over more of this in detail on some calls I have coming up. But this is how I qualify people before I get on a sales call. My pre-call screening process includes the following steps. Okay, so I create content online, right? It's organic, or maybe someone does paid ads, which is perfectly fine too. From that initial creative is actually where you start your sales process. People think the moment you get onto a sales call is the moment when sales starts. No, my first interaction with someone is going to be through my content. If I can't sell you there, I'm never gonna make it to a call with you. So first, think about your ideal client. Think about the content you're creating. Think about the problems that you're solving. Think about you sounding like the subject matter expert in your space and building that credibility up for you to sound like someone that you're worth listening to, right? Like, you have to earn that. So first and foremost, think about your content. I'm not gonna get into a whole piece about that. If we wanna do some other masterclasses or topics about that or videos on that, feel free to comment down below, let me know and I can do that, but that's not the point of this video. Content first, whether that's gonna be organic or it's gonna be paid. After that point, specifically on social media, what I do is I will create content with call to actions in it, specifically to work with me one-on-one. Again, the language here is super important. So if your language is like, yeah, comment down below if you're interested in more information. Trash, like this person is gonna be curious. They're not gonna be serious. They're just gonna be interested in learning more. That soft language that you're using is gonna get them to think, oh, this is just like, you know, this is just something I can take a look into. It's not something I have to actually like invest in. You're making a terrible mistake by doing that. Your call to actions need to incorporate firm call to actions. If you are someone who is trying to do this and you are serious about this and you're tired of feeling like this and you're ready to take this next jump, go ahead and comment down below for me to come alongside you to help you with XYZ. We'll have a chat. If it feels like it's a good fit, we'll talk about what that looks like. So you can have like a non-committal close in your CTA, but you need to have a very committal character explanation of the type of person that you want to work with. That's super important. So again, to do that, my call to actions, that can be a whole other video about cadence, how frequent you should do this, what type of content you should create to do it. But that's what I will do right now. My content is I do call to actions in the form of feed posts and stories. Now, so we have content, we have CTAs in your content. From here, you're gonna create a ManyChat automation. The ManyChat automation can be one of two, okay? The first one could be just an initial message that you will send, and then you can have your setters go in or yourself go in and continue the conversation manually. So the initial message might be like, hey, I saw you commented on my post about wanting one-on-one guidance, someone to come alongside you and help you with XYZ. You know, what specifically are you struggling with that made you want to comment in the first place? That initial question could be like that. The other one can be an actual automation for someone to book a call. I do both. So the second one being, again, is just an automation with a link with a small paragraph for someone to book a call. You're going to find that that type of messaging is going to be left more on read than if someone's manually having a conversation. Why? Because we're just sending someone a link and they're gonna have to take the action to actually click it and book a call, which does actually qualify people because if they take that step, you know that they're more qualified, right? But if you are short on leads, I highly suggest you focus more on the manual part than doing the automated process. But anyway, I do both. Now the ManyChat automation setup, someone's going to book a call. From here, that link that they click on, okay, it has to go to a landing page. The landing page needs to have a headline that speaks to the transformation that this person receives, a VSL, okay, so a video talking about what problem this person has and your credibility to help solve their problem, and the ability, a call to action for them to book a call if they want to solve that problem. And you're gonna do that in the form of a video. Then you'll have a simple button below the call to action button for them to book a call. From here, you could do it two ways. You could either have it go directly to a Calendly or some calendar booking, right? And then to an application, or you can flip it. You can put an application first and then a booking calendar afterward. If you do the latter, so if you put the application first and then the calendar second, it's going to decrease calls booked to the calendar, but increase applications, or scare people off. If you want less volume but more qualification, I suggest doing application first and then the booking, because the application is going to have budget questions on it. People will see the budget. People who are not serious will run away. People who are will continue booking. The other way around, if you put the calendar first, is people will be able to book and be added to your calendar, but then may not fill out the application. So then this is where we get to the last part of this, which is your triage process. But before I get into that, those are the two ways that you can go about it. Landing page, from the landing page directly to book a call to an application, or an application to book a call. It's important now, this next step, because this is the one right between, they fill out the application and book a call to getting on the call. Most of you guys skip this step because you're lazy, or you're the business owner, you're like, I don't have time. Yes, you fucking do. Okay, you do. You're watching this video, you have time. Or you maybe need to outsource and hire a setter who can go in there, or a closer who can do this for you. But the step you're skipping right now is the triage process. The triage process is where someone reviews the application and reaches out to the lead via phone call, DM, or text message to address any issues that they're seeing in the application. In my application, I include some major questions, 3 being the following. 1, do you need a spouse or a partner to make a financial decision, or are you the sole financial decision maker? That's 1. Second one, if guaranteed to get the result you're looking for, what would you be willing to invest in your experience or your education? The third one, if guaranteed, you can follow the same language or you can switch the language. Are you able to make an investment on call? Say that we are in full alignment. This is something that you need. Are you ready to move forward, or are you going to need time to think, or whatever? So you're gonna have 3 questions here. I wouldn't phrase it like that, but we have a full example inside my Silver Selling System that breaks down the application process. Nonetheless, this one just speaks to someone's willingness to be able to invest on the actual call. Those are 3 questions I typically have, but I will change them depending on what I'm looking to accomplish. Okay, your application is a whole other thing, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we keep the questions the same for every application, okay? Now, once I review this, the triage process is where someone from my team will reach out to this person via phone call, text message, or DM, depending on where the source or lead came in. From here, we triage on the application. Any red flags? If the person said that they need to speak to a spouse, we deal with it right there. If someone said, oh, I'm not willing to make an investment on call, we deal with it right there. Oh, if someone says that they only have a budget that's between $200 to $500, we deal with it right there. This triage process helps us to disqualify leads, or to have them sort out their finances before they get to the sales call, or have them bring the spouse to the call so that we don't waste our time doing a follow-up, or just have them mentally prepare themselves for what to expect on this call. That way we can get them to the call and they're ready to make the investment on the call. A lot of you guys don't do this, and that's why you have to do follow-up calls, or the person has sticker shock, or the person is like giving you, I need to think about it, I can't afford it. It's because you skip this major step. This step has to be done really, really well. I've done a few master classes on this, so if you look in the school community, in the private school community, there's a full recording on how to properly triage people. Go check that out so you can learn the exact language to use and what to say and how to do it. But this is all done before the sales call, because by the time you get to the sales call, it should be so simple to get on there and be like, June, it's so good to talk to you again. Rapport's already been built because you had a triage. My goal for today's call is pretty simple. Like, I just want to learn X, Y, Z. Really cool, calm, collected, but also you have the confidence and you also have the authority. Okay, you're leading, you have frame. It's super simple. My goal for the call is to accomplish X, Y, Z. Feels like a good fit, we'll move forward. If not, send you on your way. Super cool, calm, and collected. And then you get right into your struggle section or into your discovery, where we're asking questions, but we already have some data to pull from because of the triage. And we also already know the objection that we should have already tackled in the triage. So instead of it becoming an objection at the end after you price drop, it's just an obstacle. So you probably dealt with that obstacle on that call, on that triage call. But if not, you're gonna bring questions into your discovery and struggle section to dive deeper into that obstacle so we can tackle it right there before we go into price dropping. So when we do get to the masterclass, I'll be walking in more detail around the actual questions I love to ask here and how I bring up obstacles in the discovery section to tackle these really early on so that they don't become objections. So if you haven't yet signed up for the masterclass, do that now. If you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, you should probably join my broadcasts or school community, or just DM me. My team will reach out to you and help you get situated for that. But hope this was valuable for you. And this is the step-by-step process of how I set up my pre-call screening process to make sure that I don't get objections on call and I get people to pay. So you're welcome.